Okay, so we'll be discussing gravitation. Gravitation means the gravitational force. The gravitational force. So see here, if a body is there, a body having the mass, it will attract the other body which is having the mass. So if we are having two particles which are having mass, so both the particles are having mass. So one mass particle will be mass particle. So there will be attractive force between the two mass particles. This particle will be attracting the other particle towards it, which is having the mass. And this particle will be attracting this particle towards it. So there will be an attractive force between these two particles. And this par sorry, this attractive force is called as gravitational force. This attractive force is called as gravitational force. So see what will happen. This particle M2, it will be attracting M1. So there will be force on first particle because of second. Force on first particle due to second. Due to second. This is clear. And this mass, it will be attracting M2 particle towards it. So there will be force F21. Force on second due to first. This is clear. This particle is attracting with the force F21, and this particle is attracting the mass M1 towards it with force F12. And this force is called as gravitational force. It is always attractive. Now, to find the magnitude of this force, Newton has given a law, and that law is called law of gravitation. So Newton has provided one law, law of gravitation. And this law applies everywhere. This is called as universal law of gravitation. Because this is universally applied. It can be universally applied. It can be applied anywhere in the universe. So Newton's provided a law, law of gravitation, to calculate the magnitude of gravitational force. Okay. Now see here. Newton said that the force between two mass bodies, it will be proportional to the product of the mass. So this force, it will be proportional to the product of their masses. This force between these two bodies will be proportional to the product of their masses. As well, it will be inversely proportional to the square of the separation between them. If there is more separation, the attractive force, the gravitational force will be less. More far the bodies are, less will be the gravitational force between them. Less will be the attractive force. So this force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance. This is force, the gravitational force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance. Now, if we club both these equations, it will be F proportional to M1, M2 upon R square. Okay, where R is the separation between these two bodies. Center of mass is there, from there they are separated with R. This force is proportional to product of the mass, inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them, inversely proportional to the separation between them. This is clear. Now, to convert this proportionality, we add one constant G. One constant G is added, and this constant G is called as gravitational constant. So G R square. G is gravitational constant. So we have added one constant here to equalize them. So this force, this gravitational force is equal to gravitational constant multiplied with product of the mass divided by the distance, square of the distance between them. G is called gravitational constant, and this G is independent of the place. It is independent of the place, the temperature or nature of the body, kind of body or mass of the body. It is independent of all other factors, all other parameters. Therefore, this G value won't change if the place changes, if the body changes, if the separation changes, or any temperature change is there. So G is universal gravitational constant. it remains constant. It always remains constant. This is clear. The G remains constant always. So this is called as universal gravitational constant. G is called as universal gravitational constant. So this is clear. We have discussed gravitation. Gravitation means the force between the two bodies. It is always attractive. And this force, to calculate the magnitude, Newton had provided the law. That law is called law of gravitation. And in law of gravitation, Newton explains that this force between the two bodies, the gravitational force between the two bodies is proportional to the product of their masses. Proportional to the product of their masses. If their mass increases, this force will increase. If the mass increases, the force will increase. If the separation increases, force will decrease. This is clear. And this proportionality we removed with the proportionality constant. G, we use G as a proportionality constant. This is called as gravitational constant. Since the force calculated, we are calculating gravitational force. Therefore, the constant is gravitational constant. And this is universally applicable. Its value does not change. Therefore, this is called as universal gravitational constant. This is clear. Now, we calculate the unit of G. What will be the unit of G? So SI unit of G will be calculated. So F equal to G m1 m2 upon r square. Now G will be how much? R will be on the side, force into distance. SI unit is Newton. SI unit of distance is meter, meter square, and here will be kg. So kg square. So SI unit of G equal to Newton meter square per kg square, or we can write it as Newton meter square kg raised to power minus 2. This is here Newton meter square per kg square. This is the SI unit of gravitational constant. Okay, and its value has been calculated. Its value is how much? G equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 11 Newton meter square kg raised to power minus 2. You can see its value is very small. 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 11. Minus 11 it is. So value of gravitational constant is very, very, very small. Okay. Up to till now, is it clear, or you have any doubt? Any doubt?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, how we have found the value of gravitational constant?
Okay. How we have calculated that? Okay. That by some experiments or some way like that. Because force, like mass we have taken, separation we have fixed, then we have measured the force between those two bodies. By some means we have measured the force, and through that we have calculated the value of G.
Sir, explain it again one.
Again, what? Which part I have to explain? Which thing you haven't understood? Tell me first that.
Sir,
Which you
that
haven't
law of gravitation.
law of gravitation. That's the whole thing, okay? See, I will explain a bit fast. So we are having two bodies, and bodies which have mass, they have gravitational force as well. The bodies having mass, they will attract each other. So a body having mass m1, body having mass m2. So they will be attracting each other. And the force of attraction will be the gravitational force. The force of attraction between two mass particles is known as, or two mass bodies, has provided magnitude of this force. And what is this Newton's law? Law of gravitation. That is, force is directly proportional to the product of the mass, product of their mass. If product of their mass is more, force will be more between those two bodies. And it is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. If more the separation, less will be the force. So we club these two, and force is proportional to product of the mass divided by square of the distance. Okay. Now we remove this proportionality sign and we provided one constant G. This is called as gravitational constant. It doesn't vary with temperature or other parameters. Therefore, this is universally applicable. Its value doesn't change. It always remains same. Universal constant it is. So it is G is called as universal gravitational constant. And its value is 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. Okay, its value is very small, 10 raised to power minus 11, you can see. And how we have calculated unit of G. So this is the equation. G equal to F into R square upon M1 M2. SI unit of G will be force SI unit Newton meter square. M1 M2 kg square. So this will be the unit of gravitational constant. SI unit of universal gravitational constant. This is clear? Okay, one more thing you
Excuse
see.
me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, this F proportional to M1 into M2, sir, that part not understood.
See here. Two bodies we have, both are having mass. So if more the mass is there, more the gravitational force will be there. More the force, it will attract the other body. So this gravitational force, it is intrinsic property of a matter. So if mass is less attraction it will have towards other bodies. More the mass, more the attraction. This is clear? So if more the mass is there, if this body is having more mass, it will attract the other body more towards it. You can take the example of Earth and the Moon. Earth is having more mass as compared to Moon. So Earth will attract the body more towards it as compared to the Moon. More the mass, more the attraction. So this force is, so we are calculating force between two bodies. One is having M1 mass, other is having M2 mass. So the force between these two bodies will depend on the product of their masses. Product of their masses. More the product, the more the mass, more will be the force. Is this clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, one more thing, see here. This is the force with which M2 body attracts. This is clear? This is the force on M1 body because of M2, F12, force on 1 due to 2. This is in this action. Okay, 1 minute. Let me rub and tell again. Okay. So see here, first take M1 body. It will be attracting M2 towards it. It will be attracting M2 towards it. It will towards it. Will be attracting M2 towards it. So there will be force on M2. That force will be, it means force on 2 due to 1. This is clear? M1 body will be attracting M2 body towards it. So there will be force on M2 towards M1. This force we can denote as F21. Force on 2 due to 1. Okay. Similarly, M2 body will be attracting M1 towards it. So there will be force on M1. Force on M1 due to 2. This is clear. Now see here. Both these forces, they are equal. They are equal, but opposite in direction. So we can say F12 equal to F21. In magnitude, they are equal, but in the direction, they are opposite. So negative sign here denotes the direction. That is, they are in opposite in direction. They are equal in magnitude, but opposite in direction. They are vectors, we are represented here. Okay. This is clear? Any doubt anyone have? Okay. So if we take an example, F equal to G M1 M2 upon R square. This we have discussed. Or G equal to F R square upon M1 M2. We can write it like this. So we can provide one more definition of G in terms of force. In terms of force as well we can define. So for example, if M1 equal to m2 equal to 1 kg. And their separation is how much? 1 meter. Then G will be equal to force. Is this clear? So this gravitational constant, it will be numerically equal to the force. This gravitational constant, it will be numerically equal to the force between two bodies of 1 kg mass each when the separation between them is 1 meter. And it will be how much? 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 11. Numerically equal. Unit won't be same. Numerically equal. The gravitational constant, it will be numerically equal to this force. This will be numerically equal to this force. Force, it will be numerically equal to the force which is acting between two bodies of mass 1 kg each when their separation is 1 meter. When they are 1 meter apart. Is this clear, this definition?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now two examples are provided in the book. Okay, so you can see if I having body m1, m2, both are of 1 kg, 1 kg. If we put the values here and their separation is from the center of gravity 1 meter. So force will be how much? 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 11 and mass 1 kg divided by r square 1. So this will be the force between two bodies when the mass of both the bodies is 1 kg and their separation is 1 meter. Okay, so this force between two bodies of 1 kg each when their separation is 1 meter. What will be the force between these two bodies? The gravitational force will be 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 11. It is very weak force. Can you see here? If the mass is very small, that is 1 kg, 1 kg, and they are separated by 1 meter, the force between these two bodies, the gravitational force between these two bodies is 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 11 Newton. It's a very small value. You can see 10 raised to power minus 11. Very small value. Therefore, the gravitational force between such bodies is very less. So when mass is not significant, not much large, is very small, the gravitational force is not much significant. It is not significant. This is very, very weak force between such bodies. So when this force will become significant, that is when this force will be more, when it can happen. This is the equation.
Product of masses is more.
Okay. So when the mass is more, any of these two masses is more, or both are more, or any one of them is more, is very large quantity. So this force, the gravitational force becomes significant when the mass is more. Either both of them are more, or even if one is more, very large quantity. So it will be this force, the gravitational force will be significant for heavenly bodies. For heavenly bodies. For example, the earth or the moon or the sun. Okay, you can calculate as well. For earth, 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 11. Mass of the earth is how much? 5.24 into 10 raised to power 24. 5.96. 10 raised to power 24 kgs. Or the other body, you can take any mass. Mass of the, okay, we are calculating gravitational force between earth and moon. So this is the mass of the earth into mass of the moon.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, how someone calculated the mass of Earth?
Okay, that was different method. Okay. One, I think mainly they have calculated by calculating the density of the Earth, density and radius they have calculated. And because of that, they have density equal to mass upon volume. Density equal to mass upon volume. So density most probably we have calculated and volume we have calculated. Using this, they have calculated the mass. Okay, so this is the gravitation constant, mass of the Earth, mass of the Moon, and the separation is how much? 3.80. 3.80 into 10 raised to power 8 and this square. Okay. Now see here, 10 raised to power minus 11, 10 raised to power 24, 10 raised to power 12, 10 raised to power 8 we are dividing. So it comes out to be how much? Gravitational force between them is 2 into 10 raised to power 20 Newton. Now you can see here, when the heavenly bodies are there, when the mass is very large, the gravitational force becomes significant. It becomes significant. Is this clear? So for smaller bodies, gravitational force is not very significant because it is very weak force. But for heavenly bodies, it becomes significant because of the mass of the bodies. Is this clear?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, this is the force exerted by Earth on Moon or Moon on Earth.
Okay, we have discussed that one earlier. Okay, two bodies are there, M1, M2. Let it be Earth. This will be the Moon. Okay. Now I have drawn smaller Earth. It's fine. Okay, this is the Earth. Okay. Now this Earth will be exerting force on it. F force. This with this force it will be attracting. This as well will be attracting this force. These both forces are equal. This is the force of attraction between Earth and Moon. With this force, Earth is attracting the Moon towards it. With the same force, the Moon is attracting the Earth towards it. But
Sir,
both are opposite in direction.
Sir, it means that both the value of both the F is same. 2 into
It's
10
same.
raised to the power 20.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Because this value is dependent on the product of their masses. Product of their masses. So the value, the magnitude is same, but the direction is opposite. Moon is attracting the Earth towards it, and Earth is attracting the Moon towards it. So their direction is opposite, but the magnitude is same. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So what is happening?
Exactly.
Earth is pulling the Moon towards it, and Moon is pulling the Earth towards it. Okay, this one case we'll say afterwards. One case we'll see afterwards when we discuss Earth gravity.
Sir, does everybody body have gravitational force?
Yes, your body is having gravitational force, my body is having gravitational force. More the mass, more the gravitational force. But since we are having very small mass, so it's not much significant force. So more the mass, more the gravitational force. Is this clear? Less the mass,
Sir,
less the gravitation. Yes?
Sir, does it mean that a person of mass 100 kg will attract a person of mass 2 kg?
So see here, okay, we consider this one. This is of 100 kg, this is of 2 kg mass. Okay? Now, it will attract, they will attract both each other. Their mass will be their mass are different, but the gravitational force will be same between them. With the same force, 100 kg is attracting the, okay, 100 kg is attracting this one, 10 kg. With the same force, 10 kg is attracting the 100 kg. So, but see here, which will move towards more? The 10 kg will move towards more. Both are attracting each other. This will move more towards 100 kg. This will move less towards 10 kg. There is a reason. What is the reason behind that? Force is applied on
Excuse me,
both the
sir.
same, but 10 kg moves more towards 100 kg as compared to 100
Excuse
kg
me,
moves
sir.
towards. Yes.
So if they are applying the same force in opposite direction, then they must cancel the force, no?
Okay. If they can, okay, they are not cancelling. Why? We have studied that as well. The force
Sir,
are
because
applied on.
they
Yes.
have different mass.
No. Because the
Only
force is applied
direction is
on different body. Okay,
They're
see here.
acting on different
Forces
bodies.
cancel. Okay. 10 Newton, 10 Newton. In this case, they will cancel because they are applied on the same body. But here the forces are applied on different bodies. The forces applied on different bodies. This body is applying force on this body towards it. This body is applying force on this body towards it. So they are applied on different bodies. That's why they do not cancel each other. They do not cancel each other. Okay, you can see 1 minute, page number. Okay, page number 71. Open page number 71 once. Page number 71 open and see on the top. Second column is the note is written. The action reaction never act on the same body. They always act simultaneously on different bodies. The force of interaction are always present in pair. So mark that important. And you can write there as well. That's why the sum of the action and reaction of the body is not zero. They do not cancel each other. You can write, hence they do not cancel each other. They will write, hence they do not cancel each other. Because they are not acting on the same body, but on different bodies. That's why they do not cancel each other.
To say
This is clear?
again one time.
Okay, page number 71. Open page number 71. Second column is there. On top, note is written. On top, note is written. Action and reaction never act on the same body, but they always act simultaneously on different bodies, on two different bodies. That is, force of attraction are always present in pair. That is action and reaction. One more line you can write there. Hence, action and reaction do not cancel each other. Hence, they do not cancel each other. Hence, they do not cancel each other. Or you can write as well, the sum of action and reaction on a body is not zero because they are acting on the different body. So see here on page number 73, 14th question. This is very important, mark important. So comment on the statement, the sum of action and reaction on a body is zero. This is a wrong statement. Why this is wrong statement? Because action and reaction act simultaneously on different bodies. Hence, they do not cancel each other. Okay. This is clear? Okay. Since on the both the bodies, the force is same, opposite direction was same, but 10 kg body moves more towards 100 kg. Why? As compared to 100 kg moving towards 10 kg. What is the reason behind this? Anyone in class?
Sir, because 10 kg is less than 100 kg and the force is
So what is
more.
the property? What is the property because of that? 10 kg is moving more towards 100 kg as compared to 100 kg moving towards 10 kg. What is that property?
Because it is exerting more gravitational force.
No. Gravitational force between these two bodies is same.
Inertia.
Inertia. It is because of inertia. 100 kg is having more inertia. So it will oppose the the motion more as compared to 10 kg. That's why 10 kg moves. Okay, you can take one example. This is Earth. This is small body. It means gravitational force is same. It means whenever you jump, you coming back to the Earth, Earth must come as well towards you. Is that mean? So gravitational force, it means that means Earth should move towards the body should move towards the Earth. But what happens? Earth doesn't move. Earth doesn't move, or very, very, very less it moves. Usually we say it doesn't move, but the body moves towards that. The reason is Earth is having very, very large mass, and because of that, it is having more inertia. So it doesn't move, the body moves towards the Earth. Is this clear? Or else what will happen? Both will be moving. And if all starts to jump, where the Earth will this is
Sir,
clear.
if
Sir,
everybody
then why the moon doesn't?
Okay, that is, there are more reasons behind that revolution. So centrifugal force is there, revolution, and it is more complex. Why it doesn't fall on Earth?
Then
Excuse
why
me.
doesn't moon come and collide?
It is revolving. So there is also one force, centrifugal force, opposing that, and that's why they balances each other, and it keeps on rotating. If it stops revolving around the Earth, it will fall on the Earth. If Earth stops revolving, it will fall in sun, on sun. Okay. This is clear. Okay, so we have discussed this one. Properties we have discussed. Properties, they are gravitation force. They are, it is always attractive, directly proportional to product of mass. These properties we have discussed. Now, importance of law, that leave it. Force due to gravity we discuss. So force due to gravity now will be coming specifically for Earth. Force due to gravity. So Earth is having mass. Earth is attracting any body towards it. So Earth, any body on Earth, it will be feeling a force towards the center of the Earth. It will be feeling the force towards the center of the Earth. That force is force due to gravity. That force, the gravitation force is force due to gravity. Okay, this is clear. Any body having mass, it will be facing, or it will be facing a force, that is, its direction will be towards the center of the Earth. The force of any body, its direction will be towards the center of the Earth. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Okay, force attract a body. Okay. Okay. So if this is the Earth, its radius, let it be r, its mass, Earth dm. So a small body we are taking, its mass is small m. So what will be the force on this body? M. So the force, the gravitation force, the force with which the Earth attracts this body towards its center. That force is called as gravitational force on this body, or we say that force due to gravity. So that force will be G, capital M, mass of the body, small m, mass of the Earth, small m, mass of the body, divided by separation between. So its center of gravity of Earth is center of the Earth, and upon r square. Okay, this will be the force acting on this body, small m. F equal to G mm upon r square. This is the force
Excuse
due
me,
to
sir.
gravity on mass m. Yes.
Sir, but the radius is not constant on Earth. It is small on the poles and
It's fine. We have taken the average radius. Okay. So assume that Earth is spherical, a perfect sphere, and we have taken radius as same. Okay. And that will be discussing, the gravitation force will vary. That will be discussing after some time. Okay. So here we have assumed that radius is constant. Okay. So if radius we assume constant, if we calculate the force on the mass, what will be the force if mass of the body is 1 kg? If we calculated force due to gravity on the mass of 1 kg, that force will be coming out to be how much? G is how much? 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 11. Mass of the Earth is how much? 5.96 or 24? 5.96 into 10 raised to power 24 into 1 kg divided by radius of the Earth is how much?
6.37 into 10 to the
6.37.
power 6.
6 and its square. And this force is coming out to be 9.8 Newton. Okay. So gravitational force acting on a body of mass 1 kg is how much? 9.8 Newton. This is the force acting on a body of mass 1 kg. This is clear? Any body which is lying on the surface of the earth and having mass of 1 kg, the force on that body due to gravity will be 9.8 Newton. This is clear? So force due to gravity on mass on a body of mass 1 kg on the surface of the earth, it will be 9.8 Newton. And where it will be centered? Through the center of mass, it will be directed toward the center of the earth. It will be directed toward the center of the earth, through the center of gravity of the body. Now we discuss acceleration due to gravity. This we have discussed earlier as well. Okay, so Galileo did one experiment, that is, in vacuum, he dropped different bodies, for example, feather and a stone. Okay, in vacuum, he dropped feather and a stone. So we are considering here free fall. That is, there is no initial velocity provided to them, and they fall. So will they reach at the same time at the bottom of, or
No.
which will reach fast?
Stone.
So see here, in vacuum, both will reach at the same time. In vacuum, when there is no, where there is no buoyant force or no, what we call that one? Viscous force, viscous drag. So in vacuum, they will fall at the same time. Okay, so before that, see here, if you drop a stone and a feather from your roof, which will reach fast? Stone will reach fast. The reason for stone reaching fast is that stone, there is less buoyant force because of air, and there is less viscous drag. Because of that, stone reaches faster. But in vacuum, what will happen? In vacuum, there is no other forces acting on it. Only we are considering only gravitational force. Here, in air, different forces are also acted in. That is buoyancy force, buoyant force, as well as the viscous drag, viscous force. Because of that, speed of feather gets reduced. But gravitational force is same on both. So force due to gravity on stone as well as the feather. Okay. Okay, leave that one. So here in vacuum, they will reach at the same time. The velocity with which both moves towards the earth, that will be same. Okay. And so both will be reaching at the same time. And there's one more thing, that as we have dropped its velocity, their velocity will be increasing uniformly. It was 0 initially, then it increased, then it increased. So what is happening? The velocity is increasing, and it is increasing uniformly. It is increasing uniformly. That means both the bodies are accelerating. Both the bodies are accelerating. And that acceleration, it is independent of mass of the body. Independent of mass of body. So acceleration due to gravity on both these bodies is same. Acceleration produced in these two bodies is same. It is independent of the mass of the body. So acceleration produced due to gravity on any body is independent of their mass. This will be discussing as well. Afterwards, sometime we'll be discussing this as well. This is clear?
Sir,
both,
in vacuum, so there is gravity.
Yes, in vacuum, gravity is there. Create a vacuum here and make it fall. What force will be acting on this one? Gravitational force is acting. No other force will be acting, like buoyant force or the viscous drag won't be there. only gravitational force will be acting at that time. So both these will fall at the same time. That means their velocity is increasing as it is dropped. Their velocity is increasing and the velocity is increasing uniformly. That is, there is an acceleration. Which kind of acceleration? Uniform acceleration will be there. Since change in velocity is uniform. Change in velocity is uniform and we get bodies moving with uniform acceleration. Body is accelerating uniformly. And for both the bodies, the acceleration due to gravity will be same. So we can say acceleration due to gravity is independent of mass of the body. Okay. Now we can prove using equation as well. Okay. So for example, I'll take 2 minutes. Just wait for me. Okay. We complete this one. What's more remaining? Okay, 2 or 3 minutes, 5 minutes I will take, and mass and weight we'll discuss next class. Okay, 5 minutes more I will take only. So see here, what is the force on the body is having them. Okay, second law. Force equal to ma, mass into acceleration. So here it will be mg, acceleration due to gravity. This is clear. Newton's second law. Now here gravitational law we have discussed. Force will be g m. This is the mass of the earth, mass of the body upon the radius of the earth. This is r, and a body is falling on the surface of the earth. This radius is very small as compared to r, so we usually take as r plus r equivalent to r. Okay, for example, we take like this. Okay, separation between these two bodies take as r. Okay, it's fine. Now equate them. This force are equal. So mg equal to g mm upon r square. Okay. M get cancelled. G equal to g m upon r square. This acceleration due to gravity, it depends on gravitational constant, that is constant. It depends on mass of the body and the radius of the earth. Is this clear? So acceleration due to gravity is independent of mass of the body. Acceleration due to gravity does not depend on mass of the body. This acceleration due to gravity is independent of mass of the body. This is clear? So acceleration due to gravity on body is independent of their mass. So for a particular planet, the acceleration due to gravity remains constant. So for Earth, what is the value of g? 98 meter per second square. Is this the acceleration due to gravity on Earth? You can as well calculate using this formula. Acceleration due to gravity on Moon will be how much? It is 1.6, I think. 1.6 meter per second. Okay. So acceleration due to gravity on Moon is 1/6 of the acceleration due to gravity on Earth. Is this clear now? So acceleration due to gravity is independent of the mass. So you drop any kind of body, whether a 100 kg body or 1 kg body, they both will reach the Earth's surface at the same time in vacuum, because acceleration produced in both the bodies will be same. And acceleration produced is independent of their mass, therefore acceleration produced in both the bodies will be same, and both will be reaching the Earth's surface at the same time in vacuum. This is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we stop here.
So
Free fall we discuss it. Yes, you can leave. Free fall we discuss in next lecture. Okay, mass and weight is remaining.
Sir,
Sir,
Thank
sir,
you. Yes,
after
any
that stone is falling, it will again rise up, sir, because it is in vacuum.
that is different. Yes, they will rise. Even the feather will rise.
Sir, slow speed.
That's the different case. And that will be Newton's third law.